Hello and welcome to the Academy of Historical Fencing. Today I'm going to be taking a look at this Viktor Berbekucz light mezza. This is something I bought from the HEMA shop a couple of months ago and I've used it extensively. Now, I know some of these videos can be a little rambling, so I'll give you the short, extremely short version first. Is it any good? Yes. Would I buy one again? Yes. Is it safe and durable for HEMA? Yes. And will it work with most equipment? Well, it's a mezza, so yes. And is there anything I would like to change? A couple of little tiny bits, so yes-ish. So that's the first part you need to know. Where can you get these mezzas? Well, you can go straight to Viktor's website, which is in Europe, so you can order anywhere in the, well, I assume you can order anywhere in the world. And if they're in stock, they're very, very, very quick. I ordered a Maya Rapier, and it came within a week or so, a week and a half of ordering it. So very, very quick. If you're in the UK, you can go to the HEMA shop, and they have a small selection of Viktor's swords for sale. And they have mezzas. I think they've got long swords and some other bits and bobs. Again, if they're in stock, you'll get them quickly. Now, this particular model, it's one of two that he sells for HEMA, or HEMA use specifically. So on his website, I've got it just in front of me so I can double check. He does a sort of a light and a heavy version. Now, there's a little discrepancy between the specs on his website and the specs on the HEMA shop. So I'm only going to give you the information for this particular one, which is classed as the light mezza, because I actually have it. So I've been able to do my own checks, make sure it matches the description. I don't have the heavy one, so I won't talk about it for now. On the website, it's listed as being around 800 grams. It's actually, well, this particular one that came from me is 780 grams. So pretty close to the estimate. In terms of handling, it's very light, it's very quick. I've got a number of different mezzas, and out of all of them, this is by far the quickest. So if you're looking for something that's kind of nimble and agile in the fight, I think you'll like this mezza. It's got a rolled tip, so you can put extra tip protection on there if you like, but straight from the workshop, straight to your door, it's got a rolled tip. So for most groups, that should be enough in terms of safety for the tip. But again, you can put extra leather on there if you want. The flex, it's pretty decent. It's not sort of super flexible in the weak, but it is more flexible in the weak than in the strong. I've used this for full contact sparring against other mezzas, longswords, daggers, bucklers, shields, all kinds of stuff, halberds, the whole lot, and it stood up just fine. Or more importantly, when I've stabbed those people, it hasn't sort of hurt too much. In terms of damage that it's taken in sparring, the blade is in excellent condition. I'll just bring it a little bit closer. So bear in mind, I've used this against all kinds of weapons. And this is full contact steel sparring. The blade has stood up exceptionally well. This is it feels like a really tough, really durable blade. So I'd expect this to go on for quite some time. And you can see from looking at the nail and the crossguard that, hopefully, let's have a look. Yeah, you can see there. You can see it's had a fair old sort of beating. And that's because it's been used in a lot of fights. Since I've had it, I've used it, I think, every single session. And then the wood, I'm afraid. So this is only a few months old, and you can see poor old wood has taken a little bit of a beating, and I'll talk about that in a moment. Let me move it around. Bear in mind, this is a classic knife construction, so you can knock the pins out and change the wood anytime you like. So this is easily changed over if it wears down over time. So just have a quick look, just make sure you can see the whole thing. Okay, now in terms of the length, I'll just double check on the website. So the blade is 65 centimeters and the total length is 86 centimeters. So it's a good kind of average size mezza. The only thing that's a little different to some of the other mezzas you can buy on the market is it does have a long grip. So if you have a look here, I can get, make sure I don't hit the ceiling, I can easily get 2 hands around the grip. Some people will like that, some people won't. It is also the reason why mine has taken so much damage on the grip. If I'm fighting normally, I have my hand up near the navel, so I get lots of control. But I do have a lot of material hanging out the back of the mezza, and I have taken the odd hit towards the base down here where it's taken damage. And in fact, this particular bit here was when Nick was using it, my brother, and I cut at him, and I think he intentionally parried with this part of the mezza, so I ended up chopping a piece off my own mezza. So yeah, thanks, Nick. But again, I'll sand that down at some point and oil it. And one day I'll get somebody else to change the wood, but it doesn't really matter. It's a training tool in the end. The other thing is if you decide you want extra reach or you're extending out into, if your hands basically shift down towards the kind of the pommel end of the grip, especially if you're doing sort of long thrusts or striking with the back edge to the top of the head or something, you might find your hand comes back here, in which case you've got a lot of extra grip exposed, which is why mine, let's just have a look, make sure I can see it, yeah, which is why mine has taken damage along here, as in quite a bit of damage. So I'm moving around, fighting as normal here, and then I extend forwards, I slide it forwards for the extra reach, for a nice single-handed strike. But if they then counterattack and I move my weapon to defend myself, I may catch it here or here, depending on the angle of attack. So yeah, I have sustained some. Well, I haven't, but my mezza has sustained damage there. Now the Nagel itself, if you look, is it going to focus? Go on, focus. You can see the Nagel's taken a bit of damage. Well, I say damage; it's scratched and marked. It hasn't bent, it hasn't twisted, and it's as rock solid as the day it arrived. So that's really good. The cross guard, I think, may have angled slightly back on the bottom part here. May be able to see better on the camera. But bear in mind, this has taken a beating. I put it against some really meaty weapons, and it's stood up nicely. There are no significant burrs along the blade, so nothing to worry about there. So if you want, if you're looking at sort of getting a mezza that's not too heavy, so I know some people look at sort of aluminium mezzas because they want sort of get something down to the 700 to 800 gram mark. Well, this particular mezza is already that weight. It's available quite easily certainly in the UK and Europe. So I don't really see much point in worrying about an aluminium weapon there when you can get one of these. It's got a nice safe tip. It binds and slides nicely along other steel. You can use it against other weapons, so rather than go synthetic or aluminium, go for that, and you can use it against long swords and all other kinds of weapons, which is nice. And you've got that decent flex. Yeah, it's pretty good. Price-wise, let's have a quick look. In the UK, it's £258 is what this particular model costs. I don't have the price on Viktor's website, but you can easily check. Just go to Viktor's. I'll put the link in the description so you can go to his website and see what the current price is. But £258 in the UK, and they frequently have them in stock. Just make sure you look at the light mezza. The heavy mezza, if the specs are correct, then you really only want to be using that for sort of the kind of the Buhurt type stuff, because it is an absolute tank, assuming that it matches the specs. So again, that's the VB Mezza Light. I bought it from the HEMA shop. I really like it. Don't be put off by how much damage mine has taken on the wood. That's just because I've been brawling with all kinds of people and weapons, and depending on where my hand has gone, I've left part of the weapon exposed, and it's paid the price. But it's a tool, especially a mezza. It's designed for brawling, and it's a really nice piece. So I would definitely give that one my recommendation. Any comments, as usual, just post them in the comment section below, and I'll do my best to answer them. Thank you.